Hello my dear children of 9th standard. Today in this video we are going to study a poem from your first flight book. The name of the poem is The Road Not Taken. Poem number 2 written by Robert Frost. Very first I'll give you short introduction about the poet. Robert Frost was an American poet, very famous poet. He took birth on 26th March 1874. He died on 29th January 1963. Frost was honored frequently during his lifetime and is the only poet to receive 4 Pulitzer Prizes for poetry. He became one of America's rare public literary figures, almost an artistic institution. So, let us begin the poem. Very first, I'll give you short summary of the poem. The Road Not Taken. This entire poem has some hidden meaning. The road represents our life. The poet says that we all have 2 roads in our life, or we can say many options in life, but we can choose only one road, that is one option. So what happens in the future, or how do you think about the road which you didn't choose? The road which you didn't choose, what effect is seen in the future about your decision which you had taken in the past? That poet is telling in this poem. What was his experience? He is correlating this with your life. Here, just imagine that this road is your life. In your life also 2 options comes and you can choose only one. You cannot go back. The road which you choose, that decides your future. The choice which we make has an impact on our future life, and if we make a wrong choice, we have to regret it and cannot go back on it. So we must make choices wisely. So let us begin the poem. I'll read the poem and I'll explain you line by line. The Road Not Taken, written by Robert Frost. In first stanza, the poet says that 2 roads diverged in a yellow wood, and sorry, I could not travel both. And be one traveler, long I stood and looked down as far as I could to where it bent in the undergrowth. So in this stanza, the meaning of diverged means separated, and the meaning of yellow wood is for a forest with decomposing leaves, the leaves which are wearing out because of autumn. So poet says that once he was standing at a junction where the road forked means separated into 2. Once the poet was standing on the road where path was getting diverged or separated in a yellow wood. Again I am telling you, yellow wood represents forest in which flowers had become withered or flowers were wearing out because of autumn season. Further, poet says that, and be one traveler. He is single, he is one. So he could not travel on both the roads at the same time. So he stood there for a long time, deciding which road to take. He looked down at one road as far as he could to where it bent and disappeared in the wild bushes. Means we can say he looked on both the roads till where it bent. Means it got curved in the undergrowth, dense growth of trees. In the second stanza, the poet says that then took the other just as fair and having perhaps the better claim. because it was grassy and wanted wear, though as for that the passing there had warned them really about the same. So in this stanza, the poet says that after viewing both the roads for a longer time, the poet decided to take the second road or path. Why? Because he felt that both paths were equally good and started walking on one of them. He says that maybe he felt that the path was better for him. He chooses it as it had grass on it, which means it was unused. The path was grassy, means not many people had walked on that path. As far as the passing of traveler was concerned, both the roads had worn in the same manner. That is, we can say that after he walked on the path for some distance, both the paths were similar and worn out. On both the paths, travelers or trespassers had travelled equally. So after going some distance, he just saw that on both the roads, travelers had gone or trespassers had travelled. In the third stanza, the poet says that, and both that morning equally lay in leaves, no step had trodden black. Oh, I kept the first for another day, yet knowing how way leads unto way, I doubted if I should ever come back. So in this stanza, in third stanza, the poet says that both the roads lay in the same condition in front of the poet. That morning, at the time of choosing the paths, as they were still green color, means no leaf had been crushed black, as no one had passed from both the roads that morning, and both of them were curved with leaves. The poet decided to go back on the first road some other day, although he knew that one way leads to another, and had the doubts if he would ever be able to travel on the first road. And it is true, students, after choosing one path, one cannot come back or step out. Further, in the fourth stanza, the poet says that I shall be telling with a sigh. Somewhere ages and ages hence, two roads diverged in a wood, and I took the one less travelled by, and that has made all the difference. Here, the meaning of sigh is deep breath. And the meaning of hence is here in the future. The poet is talking about the future. So in the fourth stanza, the poet says that I shall be telling with deep breath. Somewhere after some ages and ages, means after some years, that once two roads diverged in a wood, and I chose the road which was less travelled, and that made all the difference. That is, because of that today I am here. Or whether difference, and whether we can say I made or I achieved, is all because of the road I chose in the past. So with this, we come to an end of this poem. Now we will see the literary devices which has been used in the poem. Very first, we will see rhyme scheme. That what rhyme scheme poet has used in this poem. So the rhyme scheme which poet has used to find out or to see the rhyme scheme, always remember, dear students, that we have to focus on every line, last word. So here, see, first line, First we will see first stanza. So first stanza, first line, last word is would. So we'll name it as A. Second line, last word is both. We'll name it as B. It is not getting rhyme, so we'll name it as B. See the third line, last word stood. Now see, stood is rhyming with first line, last word would. In the last d sound is there, so again we'll name it as A. And again see fifth line, last word growth. Now see, growth is rhyming with second line, last word both. So we'll name it as B. So our rhyme scheme became A, B, A, A, B. In same way, if you will see, throughout the poem, same rhyme scheme has been used. We'll see second stanza. So in second stanza, see last word of first line is fair. So we'll name it as A. Second line of second stanza, last word is claim. So we'll name it as B. Third line, last word is where. Now see here, fair, first line last word is getting rhyme with third line last word where. So again we'll name it as A. Fourth line, last word there. So we'll name it as, now see here, there is getting rhyme. There is rhyming with first line last word fair and third line last word where. So again we'll name it as A. Fifth line, see, last word is seem. Now here seem is getting rhyme with second line last word claim. So we'll name it as B. Now see, again our rhyme scheme became A, B, A, A, B. In same way, see, in the third stanza, first line last word is lay. So we'll name it as A. Second line last word is black. So we'll name it as B. Third line last word is day. Now see here, day is getting rhyme with first line lay last word. So again we'll name it as A. Fourth line last word is way. Now again this way is getting rhyme with first line and third line. Lay, day, way. Same rhyme. Okay. Same rhyme is coming. So again we'll name it as A. And fifth line last word is bag. This bag is getting rhyme with second line last word black. So we'll name it as B. So see, again our rhyme scheme became A, B, A, A, B. So throughout the poem, same rhyme scheme has been used, that is A, B, A, A, B. Now we'll see figures of speech which has been used in the poem. So throughout the poem, the poet has used some figures of speech. Means he is playing with words. So the very first figure of speech which poet has used is symbolism. Now what is symbolism? So see, the entire poem has a symbol. Two roads represent here choices that we make in our life. So the first figure of speech is symbolism because entire poem has a symbol, that is our choices. Second figure of speech which poet has used is anaphora. Now what is the meaning of anaphora? Anaphora means same word is repeated in the start of two or more lines. Now see, first stanza, okay, second line, third line and fourth line, okay, is starting with same word, that is and. So this type of figure of speech is known as anaphora. Next figure of speech which poet has used is alliteration. Now what is alliteration? So alliteration means repetition of consonant sound in the starting of two or more than two words in the same line. See, repetition of consonant sound or consonant word will be there, but in the starting of two or more words in the same line. So here see, second stanza, third line. because it was grassy and wanted where. Now see, WW, where sound is coming. Two words in the same line is starting with consonant or consonant sound is there. So it is known as alliteration. Again see, fourth line in second stanza. Though, as for that the passing there. Now see, again see, the sound is coming. Though, the, that, the. So this type of figure of speech is known as alliteration. Means consonant sound comes and that consonant sound will be on the first place of the word in the same line. Again see in stanza 3, third line. Oh, I kept the first for another day. Now see here, see, for sound is coming and that is consonant. Okay, F, and that is on the first letter, F. So it is known as alliteration. So simple alliteration means repetition of consonant sound in the starting of two or more than two words in the same line. Next figure of speech which poet has used is repetition. Now what is repetition? So repetition means simple, the repeated use of word or a sentence. So see, in last stanza, somewhere, second line, somewhere, ages and ages. So here see, two words are getting repeated in the same line, that is ages and ages. So this type of figure of speech is known as repetition. Repetition means, again I am repeating, that the repeated use of word or a sentence. Next figure of speech which poet has used is enjambment. Now what is the meaning of enjambment? When same sentence runs through two or more lines. Means in the end you will see no punctuation mark. The line is getting continuing. Now see here, first stanza, second line, third line and fourth line is continuing. Okay, in the last no punctuation mark is there. So this type of figure of speech is known as enjambment. I hope you got the rhyme scheme and figures of speech in this poem. So the rhyme scheme which poet has used throughout the poem is A, B, A, B. And to see or to find out rhyme scheme, we have to see every line, last word. And the figures of speech which poet has used in this poem is symbolism, anaphora, alliteration, repetition and enjambment. So that's all in this video. Soon I'll be sending you the question answers in PDF format of this poem. Thank you.